Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, today we are going to talk about the last topic of the India-China relations which was left, that is the Taiwan issue. The first thing to know about is the location of Taiwan. See, it is located to the north of Philippines and the South China Sea. It's about 180 kilometers off the coast of the southeastern coast of China, like 180 kilometers of the southeastern coast of China. Then it is separated from the mainland by the Taiwan Strait. Since we have mentioned about South China Sea, see, this area is really very important from the perspective of both prelims as well as mains. I have discussed about this entire topic and I'll be putting the link of that video in the description. Do go and watch that video because it's really very important from the current affairs point of view. Okay, so keep the location of Taiwan in mind. Now, moving forward, see, before we dive into it, the entire issue, we will be, first of all, we must know about this one China policy. See, this is based on the principle that there is only one China in the world. That's an important point to remember. Both the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China. People's Republic of China, that is the mainland China, and Republic of China, that is basically the term which is used for Taiwan. They claim to represent the legitimate government of all of the China. The PRC, that is the People's Republic of China, asserts sovereignty over Taiwan and insists that there is only one China and Taiwan is a part of it. So, through this one China policy, through this one China principle, China is having the claims over Taiwan that Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. This is encapsulated in the One China policy. Now, the countries which are seeking diplomatic ties with PRC, like जिन countries के diplomatic ties हैं चाइना के साथ, that is People's Republic of China के साथ, वो किसी भी तरह की diplomatic ties जो हैं वो ताइवान के साथ नहीं रखेंगे. They must break their official relations with the ROC, that is Republic of China, that is Taiwan, and vice versa. The result of it is most countries do not recognize Taiwan as an independent country, including the United Nations. So this is an important point to remember, that countries generally do not recognize Taiwan. See, the reason behind that is very clear. China is, we can say, great power. So because of that, the countries are having diplomatic ties with China and not with Taiwan, including the United Nations. So this is about the One China policy. Now, keeping it, continuing it, although yes, China has said that diplomatic ties जो नहीं होंगे ताइवान के साथ, but it has agreed that broad economic and cultural space of Taiwan, like cultural space can be there and economic and cultural ties can be there with Taiwan separately, but the diplomatic ties, they should be with the China, like People's Republic of China only. And also, important point to explanation of that is that Taiwan, as China has accepted the membership of Taiwan as Chinese Taipei as the member of which various organizations. These are like Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, Asian Development Bank, and World Trade Organization. Okay, so in these particular organizations, China has accepted a separate membership for Taiwan, okay, as Chinese Taipei. Alright, so this is also one thing China has agreed upon. Okay, so the thing is, मोटी-मोटी अगर बात की जाए तो we will be talking about it as कि China doesn't want other countries to have diplomatic ties separately with Taiwan, but it has agreed for the economic and cultural space for Taiwan. Okay, so this is an important point to remember. Most countries, including the United States, recognize PRC, that is the People's Republic of China, as the legitimate government of China and acknowledge the One China policy. However, they maintain unofficial relations with Taiwan, often in the form of economic and cultural ties, without officially recognizing Taiwan's sovereignty. Okay, so they जो diplomatic ties हैं, they are with China, People's Republic of China, whereas other unofficial relations are there with Taiwan, and this is true for US as well. Okay, so remember this thing in mind. Okay, now another thing, since we are talking about US, let's understand this one more thing. Like, since there has been tensions in Taiwan recently, so thing is how US is responding to it, and like how US is actually having a stand on it. US is a part of Taiwan Relations Act 1979 and is required to assist Taiwan if coerced or attacked by China. Okay, so it is providing, we can say, support to Taiwan, because there's this kind of act between US and Taiwan, that US is going to assist Taiwan in case it has been attacked by China, and Chinese government passed an anti-secession law in 2005 that provide conditions under which China might employ non-peaceful means to prevent the permanent separation of Taiwan from the mainland China. So this is anti-secession law of 2005. This is of China, which is saying that it can use non-peaceful means as well in order to stop Taiwan from getting separated, and US is having this Taiwan Relations Act with Taiwan, that it is going to assist it is going to assist Taiwan in case it is being attacked by China. So because of that, since there were these tensions recently between China and Taiwan, and because of this act, US is supporting Taiwan. Okay, so this is one thing. This is another important thing. Although US is not recognizing Taiwan as a, like, it is not having any formal diplomatic ties with Taiwan, but yes, it is having other kind of other, like, economic, cultural, and even in this case, for the safety of Taiwan, it is having the relations with it. Okay, so this is also an important point you must remember about it. Now, अब थोड़ा सा इस टॉपिक के डिटेल में जाते हैं, that like why China is having claims over Taiwan. Historical reasons are there. See, China sees Taiwan as the last vestige in the century of humiliation that began with its defeat in the First Opium War. So it considered it as a last vestige. Last vestige, we can say a last part or a last small part of something, like half of something is done but the last part of it is left. So Taiwan is considered as a last part of its century of humiliation that began with its defeat in the First Opium War. So when it comes to century of humiliation or all these kind of things, these you will be studying about in the world history. Okay, so this is what Taiwan was. अब अगर past की बात की जाए, so Taiwan was administered by China's Qing dynasty from 1683 to 1895. So ये main reason हो जाता है कि it was earlier being administered by China, and it was in 1895 that Japan won the first Sino-Japanese war and the Qing government had to cede Taiwan to Japan. So in 1895 में it was ceded to Japan, and after the World War II, Japan surrendered and relinquished control over its territory. So World War II के बाद क्या होता है, जापान surrender कर देता है and relinquish the control of its territory. उसके बाद उस टाइम पर सिविल वॉर होता है. So when Japan surrendered, the Chinese Nationalist Party, जिसे Kuomintang बोलते थे, KMT, began ruling Taiwan with the consent of its allies, the US and UK. Chiang Kai-shek, he was the ruler of this party. However, almost immediately following the Japan surrender, Chinese civil war broke out between KMT and Chinese Communist Party, and Chiang and the remnants of its Kuomintang government fled to Taiwan in 1949. So moving forward, there are political reasons. So the historical में basically वो ये चीज बोलते हैं कि earlier Taiwan was under China. Like during the times of Qing dynasty, it was under China, and it was only after 1895 that they were like Japan took control of it, and after that it became a separate one. But before that it was under China. So historical claims हैं China के over Taiwan. Then when it comes to the political reason, so when we talk about the political reason, no Chinese leader can compromise on Taiwan without damaging its authority and political career. Then there are geopolitical reasons. When it comes to geopolitical reasons, तो चाइना का एम्बिशन है कि वो सुपर पावर बने, और सुपर पावर बनने के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट कंडीशन आ जाती है कि इट मस्ट हैव अ रीजनल हेजेमनी, एंड रीजनल हेजेमनी की जब बात आ जाती है तो फिर ताइवान सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. Okay, so it's also having these geopolitical reasons for, we can say, like that's why it's having these claims over China, like the importance of Taiwan for China. So because of these historical claims are there, geopolitical reasons are there, and political reasons are also there. Now, so that's why there is this disagreement and confusion about Taiwan. China regards Taiwan as a breakaway province, which it has vowed to retake by force if necessary. China has repeatedly insisted that Taiwan should be called as Chinese Taipei in efforts to prevent international recognition of Taiwan as a country. So these are the claims of China. But Taiwan leaders, they argue that it is a sovereign state and Taiwan continues to participate in international events and dialogues separately. It has its own constitution, democratically elected leaders, and about 3 lakh active troops in its armed forces. So Taiwan wants to be a separate country, but China wants to keep Taiwan as a part of it. Okay, so this is something which is there. So that's why there is this disagreement and confusion about Taiwan. And also the people of Taiwan, there is this data that around 75% of the Taiwan people, they consider themselves as to be the part of Taiwanese. They consider them as Taiwanese, and there is about only 2.5% are there who consider them as Chinese, and the remaining portion is those who consider them as like both. There is this remaining portion who consider them as like both, to be the part of China as well as Taiwan. Okay, so this is something that people of Taiwan, they also want to remain as a separate country. Okay, so this is also this thing. Now, what is the India stand on it? That is something which is more important for us. So, India का स्टैंड जो है वन चाइना पॉलिसी के ऊपर सबसे पहले तो ये दिखा जाए कि इंडिया वाज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट कंट्रीज टू रिकॉग्नाइज मेनलैंड चाइना एज अंडर लाइक वन चाइना पॉलिसी. सो India has accepted this one China policy. Since 1949, India has followed one China policy and thus has recognized only the People's Republic of China. So it was in the year of 1949. Since then, India has accepted this one China policy. India doesn't recognize formally and diplomatically the existence of Taiwan or the Republic of China. Therefore, even today, India is having no formal diplomatic relations with Taiwan. But since the year of 1995, representative offices definitely has been opened for both the country. Like of India, it has been opened in Taiwan, and of Taiwan, it has been opened in India. Representative offices are there. These are informal ones. India does not have the formal diplomatic ties with Taiwan. This is an important point to remember. Were opened up in each other's capital, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center in New Delhi and India Taipei Association in Taipei. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in the India-Taiwan relations. And also India, but okay, ठीक है. So informal ties are there, representative offices are there, and also diplomatic ties are not there, but the economic cooperation and in other areas there is this kind of cooperation between the two countries. Okay, so when it comes to the economic cooperation, so abhi recently there is the signing of this migration and mobility agreement that will facilitate the employment of Indian workers in Taiwan. Though India and Taiwan do not have formal diplomatic ties, the bilateral trade relations, they have been growing deeper. Total investment of Taiwanese enterprises in India is around $4 billion, covering the areas including footwear, machinery, automobile, and ICT products, information and communication technology products. So this is there. So around $4 billion is the investment of the Taiwanese companies in India. So this is about the economic cooperation between the two countries. Then there is this Science and Tech Cooperation Memorandum of Understanding on Scientific and Technological Cooperation was signed in 2007, resulting in 115 projects, joint proposals, 25 agricultural, healthcare and disaster management seminars. Then is this education collaboration memorandum of understanding with Association of Indian Universities facilitate mutual recognition of academic degrees, fostering research collaboration. 26 Taiwan education centers are established in different parts of Indian universities. So this is about the education sector. Then is cultural exchanges. Cultural exchanges between India and Taiwan have grown significantly. Taiwan films are now a regular feature at the major Indian film festivals each year. So this is also an important point. Diplomatic engagement की बात करें तो we have said it many a times that India is not having formal diplomatic ties with Taiwan. However, Taiwan has identified India as a top priority under its new southbound policy, which is focusing on trade, commerce, economic cooperation, talent exchange, resource sharing, and regional connectivity. So, what is this new southbound policy? It's the policy of Taiwan, which is aimed at redefining, re-establishing, and expanding Taiwan's ties with Southeast Asia and South Asia and India. And Taiwan has identified India to be the top priority. Also, this policy was actually launched in the year of 2016 and it will involve 18 countries, okay. So this is also an important point to remember about the ties between India and Taiwan. Okay, so what are the challenges? See, when we talk about the challenge is nothing but the biggest challenge is China. India's recognition of one China policy, and China doesn't want any other country to have China doesn't want any other country to consider Taiwan as a separate country. So definitely the biggest challenge when it comes to India-Taiwan relations is China only. Okay. So what can be the way forward? It's important for both the countries, it's important for India to have a pragmatic approach. Like a practical approach kind of thing must be there. Practically possible thing, it must be a pragmatic approach. So India may thought of considering Taiwan to be an important player in its Make in India mission. Okay. See, another important point to remember over here is when it comes to trade, when it comes to science and tech, when it comes to technology perspective, Taiwan can be of great help to India because approximately 70% of the semiconductors they are made in Taiwan and more than 90% of the advanced चिप ये जो हैं वो एडवांस चिप्स जो हैं जो कि विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर be it smartphones or other electronic devices, these are made in Taiwan. So Taiwan can be a great help to India when it comes to when it comes to the information and technology sector. Okay, ID sector में Taiwan can be of great help to India. So India needs to have this pragmatic approach when it comes to dealing with China and Taiwan. So this was actually the reason that when there have been this kind of basically increasing tensions which are there between China and Taiwan, and also the US is getting involved in it. So because of that, India didn't say much about it. India was actually standstill. It was like India did not say much about it. So because India did not want to, we can say it's not in our national interest to have any kind of we do not want कि हमारी रिलेशंस जो हैं वो चाइना के साथ भी खराब हो because even definitely we are dependent on China for a lot of imports as well. Okay, so and also so that's why we didn't say much about it also because US was also involved in it. So we did not say much about it even when this kind of conflict is there between these three countries of China, Taiwan and US. So this is also one of the point which we need to remember. So we have discussed all about it. We have discussed about the cooperation which is there between India and Taiwan. What is the challenge and what is the way forward in this case. Okay, so this is all about the India-China relations. We have discussed about it in a great detail. It means 4 lectures we have taken. Now I guess everything is covered except whatever will be there from the current affair point of view that you people need to cover. Otherwise, all the static portion like we have already covered. So in case of any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. So till that, bye bye. Take care of yourself.